So today we're going to be talking about YouTube, loading videos onto YouTube, and what you can do with that information. We're also going to be looking at how you can maximize meta tags on a video by adding specific information, how to add a description. We're also going to be looking at some very basic editing tools that YouTube has in their platform. So it can be really helpful if you've recorded a video previously and you have the hard file to that copy. What you'll be able to do is actually upload it directly into YouTube. That's also something that we're going to be talking about. Now, one reason that it's really important to have a YouTube account, especially if you have your own YouTube videos, is you can take the link or the HTML code and take that information and put it on your website. You can put it through social media. So having a YouTube account can be very helpful, especially if you have your own videos and mass distributing that information. I'm also going to show you how you can take your YouTube account and plug it into your agent website. That will allow people to go to your agent website and click on that to view your YouTube page. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, to log in, again, if you don't have a Gmail account or if you don't know what it is, you probably won't be able to get into YouTube until you acquire that information. But if you're in Google, okay, if you just open up Chrome, is there anybody who does not have Chrome? Okay, if you don't have Chrome, just go to youtube.com, and what it'll do is it'll ask you to sign on. But if you are in Chrome and you're not signed in to your Gmail account just yet, if you go to these assorted black squares, that is where you can find all of your apps that Google controls or owns. And YouTube is actually going to be found in that area. Okay, so we have Google Plus, Google Search, YouTube, Google Maps, Google Play, News, Gmail, Drive, Calendar. All that information is right in here because they are Google products. Okay, so if we click on YouTube and we're not logged into our account, it's going to show some popular videos. But at the very top of the page, just under the browser, we're going to have sign in. Okay, this is how we sign in to Google, or excuse me, to YouTube. And we will have to use our Gmail account in order to do this, as YouTube has been acquired by Google. Everybody used to have a username and password, and now that's been absorbed by your Gmail account. So if you click on sign in, okay, this is where you're prompted to sign in with your Gmail account. Okay, one account, all of Google. So that's their new tagline, making sure everybody understands that as long as you have a Gmail account, you have access to all of these Google tools. Okay, so now I'm logged in. I know I'm logged in because it says my name at the top. It has a photo that I've added to my profile. I'm in my account, and now I'm in YouTube. And again, what they're going to do most of the time is pull up the most popular videos that are trending at that time. Again, this is always going to change. Got my channel, my subscriptions, okay, any pages that we've subscribed to, okay, history, what we watch later, any kind of liked videos, okay, other people that have subscribed to us or that we've prescribed to, excuse me. All right, browse channels, manage subscriptions. So there's a lot we can do. So if we click on my channel, okay, I've edited this a little bit. Okay, and what we're going to be looking at today is how to edit this information. It's very easy to do. So if you have a custom banner that you want your clients to see, okay, all you have to do is run your mouse over this banner. And after you do that, in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see an icon of a pen. This is your editing tool. And with this tool, you can edit links or edit channel art. Now, if you have your own photo, you can drag and drop a photo in here, or you can do it the old-fashioned way and select a photo on your hard drive. Okay, but remember, down here, they're going to provide recommended dimensions. Okay, recommended dimensions are 2560 pixel width by 1440 pixels in height, and the max file size is 2 megabytes. So obviously, we can have a pretty large file if you have something that you want to pull. Maybe it's a picture of a listing or a picture of the market area that you work. Whatever this might be, you can pull or go into your file and open the file to add it in here as your profile photo. Okay. Now, you can also create channel art down here. Okay, and it gives you some instructions on what you can do. We're not going to go too deep into this because it's not all that important. Not as important as the tools that we're going to be looking at today in terms of adding video. But if you want to create your own, you are able to do that. They do give you quite a bit of choices in terms of what you can and can't do when creating your profile and a banner. Okay, obviously it's going to look different on a desktop TV, a mobile device, or a tablet, and they try to give you a likeness on what that would look like after creating that custom header, or excuse me, custom banner. Okay, so I'll let you look at that whenever you feel like it. Again, we're just here to look at some specific tools and see how it's going to help you. So after you upload a series of photos, you will have a photo gallery, and this gallery will have everything, your photos that you've imported. And of course, if you go to the gallery, these are photos that you can choose from if you don't want to create something on your own. If you just rather take one of these stock images, you can do that as well. Okay, that way your channel isn't completely bland or boring. It has a little bit more depth, a little bit more character. Okay. Now, back into our channel information. Something that's really popular is coming to your video manager. I'm actually going to upload a video really quick because I want to show you what you can do with this video manager. It actually allows you to do a lot of editing post-production. Okay, not super in-depth editing, not like using iMovie or Camtasia, one of those programs that you can buy, or if you have a Mac, you have it on there already to do serious editing. But you are able to manipulate the video in certain aspects. So to upload a video, up here it says upload. Now there are several ways that we can do this. We can either select a file to upload, again like we upload basically anything else. Go to videos. Okay, so I've got a handful of videos here that I could use if I wanted to. Or we can drag and drop a file. Now if you already have a file open on your hard drive, you can just drag it in here. So I'm going to find a specific video and I'm going to bring it in.
Does it matter which format the video is in, whether it's real player or whether it's Apple? Does it matter?
It shouldn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, it really shouldn't. Typically you're just able to pull it in no matter what. Okay, so if I wanted to bring, I'm going to find something that's short so it doesn't take forever. Let's see here. There we go. I'll pull that in. So that's what you do. You just choose that file, and then it's going to tell you, publish when ready. Okay, so right here I have my uploading bar. It says how fast it's uploading. Your video is still uploading. Please wait. Publish when ready. Your video will be kept private until you click publish. Take your time entering your information and publish when ready. Okay, so even after this video uploads, it's not going to be live on YouTube. Okay, you actually have to hit publish. And it's kind of reminiscent to Site Builder, isn't it? Our first Site Builder class, after you add some content, then you actually have to go and hit publish to make it live. This is the same thing. So what we're going to do, while that video is uploading, we're going to put in some information. Okay, and that's what I like about this, just as basic information. So now I can title this video first and foremost. So I'm going to type in real estate agent discusses choosing an agent. Okay? Because that is what this video is about. Okay? Simple title. Nothing too complex, nothing too difficult for anybody to understand. Okay, if it's your name, if it's a video of you, I would definitely enter your name, okay, and what the video is about briefly. Okay, because you are going to have a description area that's actually going to allow you to be a little bit more in-depth on what this video is actually showing. Okay, so for a description, I can say Joey Van Leuven is discussing the proper way to choose a real estate agent. She discusses methods on best practices regarding choosing agent. Something like that. Okay? Again, this is very close to our meta tags in a website. You have a meta title, you have a meta description, and then you have meta tags. And that's why they simply say tags right here. Okay? So you just have a simple title. You have a sentence or two describing in a very general way what the video is about. And then down here in the tags, that's where we put in specific words or keywords that people may choose to type in order to find a video with this content. All right, so something that I might want to put in is choosing an agent. Okay, real estate agent. Real estate. Okay. Again, nothing too over dramatic. I don't have to put in a book here, but just a few keywords, maybe anywhere from 5 to 7 keywords, rank at the very top of the page depending on specific keywords. Okay, most of the time people don't like to pay for things, and I completely get it, especially on the free platforms. But the best way to rise up is to make sure that your meta tags are conducive, okay, conducive enough to where people are typing in this information. Also making sure that you're marketing this video, okay, sending it out on other social media platforms, okay, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, things of that nature. That way you can get as many views as possible. Okay, that's kind of the point of YouTube. Okay, so after I put these in, now I get to choose the thumbnail. Okay, every time we go to a YouTube video, we see the still before it starts. Okay, so you have a choice of these 3 different thumbnails. You'll always have 3, and you'll be able to choose how you want the video to appear prior to it starting. Okay, so I'm going to choose this one down here in the middle. Okay, I'll select that, save that as a thumbnail. That way whenever somebody goes to watch this video, that is the first frame that they see. Okay, now if I wanted to do more editing, right down here at the bottom, it says Video Manager. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And once again, here's my edit feature. Shows the time. Now if I click down, I have a lot more information than just info and settings. Okay, I have a few more tools that I can use. And one of those tools is called enhancements. So if I click on enhancements, we're able to make some simple changes. Okay? Auto fix allows us to fix any kind of color and lighting. Okay? So here's the original. And now if we look at the preview, I don't know how well you can see it because of the poor lighting, but on this side of how it would look, it's much brighter. Over here it's a little bit duller. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So you're able to see, using a very basic post-production tool, that you're able to change the color a little bit. Okay, make it a little bit cleaner. Okay, and you can even come over here, slow motion if you wanted to. If you wanted to slow it down for whatever reason, it allows you to control the speed. Okay, stabilization. This might not be a tool that you'll always need to use, just depending. Huh?
What does that do, stabilization?
Well, if it was like kind of shaky, but since this was done on a tripod, obviously it really wouldn't have any kind of relevance here because the camera was already still. But if it was a little, herky-jerky or something like that, if it was a handheld, it helps to stabilize that information or the video a little bit more than, say, if it was done on a tripod. It would make it look a little bit cleaner like that. Okay. So that's just a couple basic tools here. You can change the lighting a little bit, the contrast that we just talked about. You can even do a little trimming. So if you wanted to adjust the start and stop time, perhaps, if there was a little bit of dead air or dead space in the beginning or the end of this video, or maybe there was a spot in the middle that was a little awkward and you want to get rid of it, that's what your trim can do. Okay, it's basically a cutting feature to where you can determine which parts through what's called the timeline you can cut out. Okay, a lot of this is done in post-production if somebody does it through iMovie or through Camtasia. A lot of the editing is done in that area as well. But if there's still more editing that you would like to do after you receive that file and you uploaded that file into your YouTube account, you can come back in here and clean it up a little bit more if there's certain elements that you want to cut out of the film. Okay, very easy to use. Okay, that's why it's called the quick fixes. Things that can change that are really easy to do that can drastically change the outcome of the video itself. Okay. Filters. Okay. And anybody who has an iPhone has probably done this before. If you take a picture, you can go in and add different filtering styles to the photo itself. So if you wanted to make this, a more dramatic video, depending on which one of these color schemes that you want to use, you can choose black and white. Okay, you can use the psychedelic color. Depending on what it is you're trying to do with the video itself, you may find, excuse me, you may find some of these other color filters fun to use. I mean, obviously, if we're showing properties, some of these ones down here might not be very conducive because it's really not giving us a very clear image of the property and or the agent. So you may want to stick with the original. It might be more helpful to just leave that alone. But if you were trying to do something fun and you were trying to mix it up a little bit, again, these filtering mechanisms can be pretty helpful if you're trying to change a few things. Okay. Again, pretty easy to use. Okay, special effects. So here we go. Special effects obscure the identities of individuals within your video. So if you're shooting a video and there's people in the background and they don't want to be seen, or if you're just doing it just to protect the identity of the seller or the buyer or whomever, you can blur these images and it allows their identity to be protected. Okay. So again, once we blur the face here, be able to see what that looks like. And again, that's probably not going to be a conducive feature in every single video you shoot or you have, especially if it's you in the video. I mean, there would be no point in you shooting a video if you're going to blur your own face out.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a suggestion. But if it was, somebody who did want to conceal their identity, obviously this is a pretty good tool. Yeah. Again, and these tools are not 100%. They're not ultra sophisticated. They're just very basic cleanup tools that you can use in order to change, some ancillary pieces of information, or to change, color or lighting or some kind of structure in that capacity. So, again, most of your editing is going to be done post-video shoot. And once you upload it, there are those very basic tools that I showed you that you can do a little bit of cleaning. But again, whoever's producing the video is going to do the majority of the work for you before you even receive the file. Okay. A little FYI. All right. So down here, when people are watching this video, you do have some kind of analytical tools right here. So this is able to show you, and I'm probably not going to have anything populate here on this one, but if I go back to a previous video, we can look at some, let's find one that's been watched. Okay, this one's been watched 32 times. Okay, so on here we can come over and look at the analytics. Something like that has more views. It's going to populate. It's a lot like Google Analytics. Has anybody ever used Google Analytics? Okay, relatively similar, especially because it's owned by Google. So you're going to be able to see the performance, the views, estimated minutes watched. Okay, so I think this one, it's 2.5 minutes long. So that's really, really long for a video. So obviously, it's been watched 30 times. And 16 minutes watched, so obviously the whole thing isn't being watched, but it's trying to give you as much information as possible in terms of where people are watching, gender, if possible. Most of the time that's not available unless it's being watched by somebody who has filled out that information in their profile and they can actually understand a little bit more about the person watching it. So you can find out how well your video is doing. I mean, pretty much you can find that out by how many views you see. I mean, 30 views isn't a whole lot amount of views, especially over a 30-day period, but it can give you a little bit of understanding of how often it's being viewed and if somebody's watching the whole thing or if they're just watching snippets of it. Again, if you have a video that's 2.5 minutes long, I guarantee most people are not sitting there for 2.5 minutes watching that video.
What's the best time?
Time frame?
Yeah.
I would say at 1.5 minutes, you're stretching it pretty deep. Yeah, I would probably keep it within anywhere from 30 to 60. You're doing pretty good, because videos don't always have to be long. I mean, people have a very short attention span, especially when they're online. I mean, think about everything about a website. Everything's condensed. Social media, online articles, they're all paraphrased. It's all condensed information. People go on there because they don't want to flip through a magazine. They just want to go on there. They want their information delivered quick. So you don't have to be too long-winded, and you can always just create a series of short videos if you feel your topic might be a little bit more complicated to explain. You know, part 1, part 2, part 3, something like that. Okay, and if people are interested in continuing, then they can watch that part 3, but at least they don't have to sit there, you know, 5 or 6 minutes watching a very drawn-out video. Okay, remember the whole idea of going online and creating social media is to paraphrase and condense the information that you're trying to deliver. Okay. All right. So, sharing this information. So when you're trying to share a video, there are several different ways that you can do it. Obviously, sending out a video on social media is going to be pretty helpful. But if you have a website, which I'm assuming many of you do, and if I wanted to post this brand new video that I just uploaded here today, if I wanted to send it out, okay, I click on share. So I actually go to the video itself and I click on share. Now, there are so many different ways that we can send this video out. And one thing that I was talking about earlier, just like on, you know, Google, they rank something that might be similar right here on the side. Okay, how to find a real estate. You know, that guy's Mr. Celebrity J, Mr. Real Estate. Okay, so they're going to try to put some similar videos over here. But I know that if you are advertising, if you're trying to promote, sometimes you'll see one right here that says ad. They pay, you know, you imagine yourself, if my video was viewed 22,000 times, I don't even think that's really considered viral. You know, but 22,000 times, I'm not saying 22,000 people have watched it, because sometimes you watch it more than once. You know, it's already recorded us watching this twice, and we haven't even watched it all the way through once. So, you know, you really want to drive a video out there to as many people as possible, hoping that they will also push it out to others as well. Okay, that's kind of the idea. And making it exciting enough to where everybody wants to watch it. Okay, but here, you have all these different ways that you can distribute. Okay, quite a few. You have to have an account set up with them. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, otherwise it won't know where to go. I mean, because you have to log in to be able to post something. So, for example, if I wanted to send this link out to this video, I'm going to copy, and if I come over here to, say, Facebook, for example, and I wanted everybody to check out my new video, I could create a post and tell people, hey, check out my newest video on how to choose the right agent for you. So I would type that in, and then I would paste this in, and what's going to happen is it's going to give them that thumbnail that I chose, and then a brief description. Again, it's all hyperlinked. And if I post that, that's going to go out to everybody I know, and I'm hoping that they click on it, and I'm hoping that they comment on it, and I hope that it gets shared, and that a lot of people start viewing it. And then it's going to start raising up through the ranks. That's how it works. Just like on a website, you know, websites do really well when a lot of people go to. That's why you always want to drive traffic to your domain to help increase the indexing on the search engines. It's the same thing. Okay? So this is one possible way you can share it. Okay, another possible way that you can share it is to embed the information into a website. Okay, so we already found out how to do it through social media. Okay, again, you can do that right through here. Or you can take the information yourself and post it directly to Facebook or Twitter, Google+, or all those other different social media platforms, Pinterest, especially if it's a video of a listing. Okay, it can be very helpful to get that information out there as quickly as possible. So if I log into a Lead Street account real quick, and you don't have to do this, I'm just showing you as an example of other ways that you can get this out in the world, is you can embed a link in a photo. So if you have an image of a listing, maybe it's a pocket listing on your website, and then you shoot a video of that and you add that link directly into the image, I get that. But the problem is, if we do that, and I'll demonstrate it here whenever I finally get to my page. There we go. Let's look at this website real quick. I want to make sure I'm looking at the right one. What we're going to be able to do, yeah, I'll just create, there we go. So I'll just add in a picture. I'll just import something that I've already got going on in here. Right now it's that Pinterest, so I'm just going to get rid of Pinterest altogether. Hit update, open photographics library. I'm just going to choose this image right here. So if I just drag and drop this in here, clean it up a little bit, what I'm going to be able to do is this button right here. right under font, in the font family category. If I click on this little chain link, I'm going to be able to paste this in here. Okay, there's my link. Very simple. Okay, and it's going to open in a new window, which is good. However, it's still going to take somebody away from my website and take them to YouTube. And most of the time, I'm not saying every time, but most of the time, whenever somebody goes to YouTube to watch a video, they end up getting distracted. See? Here's one. Ad by Mojo Selling Solutions, real estate data. Okay? And 21,000 views. But remember, this one's got 22,000 views. And he didn't have to, I'm not sure if they paid for it or not, but it's not an ad. Maybe at one time they did to generate more views. But again, you know, it just kind of depends on how much you want to market this video, how important you think it is, especially if it's a video of, say, a listing, and you want to get it sold as quickly as possible, then maybe promoting that video might not be such a bad thing. Okay, maybe just for a little while, because there are some agents sometimes in a previous region that I worked where they did pay for pay-per-click just to drive clicks to it. Okay, and after 30 days they took it down because it got expensive. But at the same time, even if you take it down from a pay-per-click, those hits to the website don't just evaporate. Okay, so it can be of good use if you're trying to just drive numbers and drive people to the website itself. Okay, so that's the one thing that I really don't like about embedding into images. It's a great tool. It makes the picture and the text, you know, hyperlink, so it's interactive. But there's a better way to do this. If you're going to share a video on your website, embed it. Okay, embed it into the wireframe of your website. And to do that, you just click on Embed. Okay, it's already going to produce the source code. You don't need to write anything. You don't have to know how to create code because YouTube has already done it for you. And what you're also able to do is manipulate the size of the video. So if you want it to show down here at the bottom of your website and you want it to be large, you can increase the size. Okay? So where it says video size, you can put it up to 640 by 360, 853 to 480, or you can make it custom if that's not large enough. Or if you want it smaller, depending on how much room you have left on your website, you are able to decrease the size. So if I click on custom and I want this to be smaller, all I have to do is put in my pixel width. So if I put in 380, it's automatically going to size the height at 214 for me. So I don't have to worry about distorting the video itself. I don't have to worry about ruining the format of it, because once I put in one of those formats, it's going to auto-populate the other, making my life considerably easier. Okay, so you don't even really have to know any true dimensions. Okay, you just have to think to yourself, I want this smaller, or I want this larger than the options that they've given me, and then I can go in there with one of those options and it's going to autofill the second. Okay, it's pretty helpful. Now what we can do is figure out how we want this to appear after the video has played on our website. Okay, show suggested videos when video finishes. If we don't want to do that, we can just turn that off. That way they don't just keep watching new videos. What we can also do is click on Enable Privacy Enhanced Mode. Okay? Any video that's public can be taken. Okay, so if I look at this video that I already have on my website, okay, of John, okay, the reason I know that this is a public and shareable video is because they had this little triangle right here, or this little arrow pointing left. If I click on that and click on More, I'm going to be able to get the source code for this as well by clicking on Embed. Okay? Now I can keep it private if I wanted to, or I can just come over here and uncheck private because I want this video to be circulated by anybody and everybody. So now I'm going to take this code, I copy it, I'm going to jump back over here into Lead Street, in that area where I had that photo that was embedded with my YouTube link. I'm now going to replace that information with source code. The source code is going to make it possible for this video to live within the wireframe itself and become a fixture of my website. Now if I hit submit, publish, come over here and hit refresh. I now have this huge video. Wow, that's huge. It's too big. But you get the idea. Now when I click on it, it lives on my website. Just open up a new window where people are exposed to all kinds of videos. And at the end of this video, it's not going to show any additional videos. It's just going to stop. It's just going to, should just end. Let's make sure that that happens. We'll just let it play through. But it's a very important tool to use, because if you're taking the time, or if you're spending money to create video, you just don't want to sit there and think, oh, well, that's neat, I got a little video, you know, I can just send it out to my favorite customers. Get that out everywhere, especially if you paid a lot of money for it. Some videographers charge hundreds of dollars to have some short little minute-and-a-half long video because they're doing all the production work. They might add a lot of call-outs or annotations within the video to make it that much more desirable to watch. But understand, yeah, okay, so when it just stops, and people can watch it again, that's good. Now you can't always put in that option to where it shows suggested videos, especially if you have more than one video out there. It might show some of your other videos. Okay, but most of the time it shows, you know, peripheral information that may not really have any relevance. Okay, but just make sure that if you're going to take the time and spend the money to have a video produced or produce it yourself, that you're able to get it out to as many people as possible. Okay, 'cause if somebody produces it for you and says, you know what, I'm going to produce it and I'm going to put it up for you. I'm going to host it for you. Make sure if they're going to host it, they're hosting it on your YouTube channel and not their YouTube channel. Okay, we ran into that whenever we were creating these videos, and I was posting them directly to YouTube from my Camtasia software instead of sending the file to the agents. Okay, once we realized that was an error, we started producing the video and then sending the video directly to the client. That way they can go on to YouTube themselves onto their channel and upload their video on their channel so it's hosted by them, because that's the way it should be. Okay, especially if you're paying for the video, you want to make sure that you're able to host it on your website. Okay? Yeah, I believe if you put on the enable privacy enhanced mode, that you're able to stop people from taking it. I believe so. To make that disappear. Let's see.
You have to put privacy enhanced before you go ahead and embed it.
Yeah, because it's got to be in here. Yeah, yeah, because anytime, if I make a change here, if I turn that off, the code changes. Yeah. If I turn that on, the code changes. So you have to make sure that that's checked. Not that there's no way for them to share it. So if you don't want anybody using it, then nobody else can share it, though, at the same time. I mean, they could share it by sending out the URL to your website and say, hey, check out this video. But if you don't want anybody to be able to copy and paste it and put it anywhere else, because even if somebody takes the code or they share it, they can't manipulate the video. That can only be manipulated by the person who uploaded and published the video. Okay, so if you're worried about that feature, that can't happen. Okay? But if you do want to protect people from being able to share it or posting the information on their website, then you can enable that privacy mode, and when we click on that share option, we get nothing. Okay? So that means that people can't share it. Usually whenever you have a feature like that, it just removes the share feature altogether, but they still have it. They still have the drop down, but just nothing's available. So yeah, that's how you make that video a private video. And yeah, you definitely want to, depending on what the video is and how many videos you have out there, because if you do leave that setting to show suggested videos afterwards, then, I mean, we've all seen this before. You know, it shows the additional videos and thumbnail, so like that. So even though some of those videos might be relevant to the video they just watched, again, we probably don't want people just sitting around surfing through videos when they're on our website. We probably want them looking for property, okay, or finding a way to become a lead or contacting us through our website, not just checking out videos. So again, that's really easy to change. Click that, turn that off, and that's going to change the code altogether. Okay, so that's a very easy fix. If you might have videos already out on your website, or perhaps videos that you've sent out on social media that have that information after the video plays, you can always turn that off and save it. And so if you wanted to put it on your website, that's the best way to do it so it lives in there. But if you just want to share that, I mean, email that to 1,000 people and say, hey, check out my newest video, and share it with anybody that you think might enjoy learning this information or seeing anything. And then, of course, people are putting comments on there. You can respond to people, make them public. You can also share it directly to Google+, since they own it. So it can be pretty helpful to send this information out.
You want to keep people away from everybody else. What you're going to want to do.
It really depends on how you want to show that information, how you want to get it out to people, and there's just a lot of different ways. Social media, email, post it onto your website directly, a link. So it can be helpful to get that out in front of a lot of people, because ultimately that's what's going to drive the placement of this video. Yeah, it really is. It's really easy to use. Everything's searchable. Again, if you don't have any videos on your own, it's good to have an account. That way you can go to the Remax channel. Again, you can always put some of these videos on your website as Remax agents. There's really no problem, especially if you're a collection agent. They have some really good collection videos that are really clean and really neat and really sleek. Again, it's very easy to share. These videos have not been made private, so you can come over here to share, embed, and grab that information. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people, whenever they post video, they just blast that link out. And that it gets out there pretty quick. But, even if you have a business page, you can add a lot of different links to a video portion that lives right above your profile. So it's another good way to get that information out there as quickly as possible. Especially if it's a video that you want a lot of people to see, I would post it and repost it. Because if you go to Facebook, you can tell things get buried really quickly, especially if you have a lot of friends. Okay, your news feed can get buried really quickly. So if you have a video, you may want to send, up to 3 posts regarding that day. One in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. It's really quick to do. You just find your video real fast. Go back to my channel. I mean, we saw how easy and quick it is to share something. Just click on Facebook. Okay, and then right here, say something about it. Check out my newest video, my latest video for a listing, or check out some very useful information on how to choose a real estate agent. Something that you figured might capture somebody's attention and be able to watch this information and hopefully pass it on to others. But if you want to add this, if you want to add your channel to your agent website, once you go into your channel, go into your browser right here and just copy this information up here. And in Lead Street, in your site builder area, if you haven't done this already, you can add social media icons. So if you go to Elements, Info Display.
No, you moved pretty fast. Where did you go? How did you get there?
I just went to Site Builder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Site builder design.
So in YouTube, you can actually drop that in, hit publish, and then you have your little icon right here. When somebody clicks on that icon, a new window will open up and show your page. Okay? And obviously, if you have an outside website, I'm sure that whoever, Superlative or whomever, Property Minder, they can put that information on there for you. Okay, so if you have somebody else managing your website, it's pretty easy to do. All you have to do is give them that information. Say, hey, I would like a YouTube icon on my website. Okay, so all you have to do here is go to Site Builder, Design, Elements, and then Info Display. And that's where all this information is. So hopefully you'll have all of your social media information in there to make your agent website that much more popular and make it that much easier to find and help to boost SEO. People can go onto your other social media sites and see other information that you have posted there, whatever that may be.
Is there a limit to how many you can put?
Yeah, they've only have an agreement with these 6 right here. So YouTube, Google+. A lot of agents I know have already been on YouTube in some capacity or another, so I just want to make sure that everybody was aware of how to upload a video, how to get in now that they've been bought by Google, how to upload, how to make some basic changes. So again, it's not that difficult to use, but if you are producing videos, or if you have had some videos produced for you in the past and you have access to the hard file, I would definitely dump it into your YouTube page and promote it as much as possible. So I couldn't take a video here and get the actual file. I can only get, if I go into somebody else's channel, I can get their code and I can get their link if it's shareable. But to get all these videos onto my account, I had to have had a hard drive or a hard copy already on my computer first. Yeah, so I mean, there are workarounds. I mean, if you really want a video on here, you know, there are some ways, if you can't have access to the hard file, that you can do a screen share, a screen capture, and be able to record the contents of that video.